Hello, everyone, and welcome to the frightening podcast, Absurd Arguments. Join me and my fellow co host, I, Nathan, and my friend Matthew, are here to argue about things that will frighten you, things that may disturb you, things that may cause you to giggle, not out of laughter but out of fear. Matthew, do you have anything to say for yourself?
What? Fear?
Yes. Our podcast is no longer going to be a funny podcast, Matthew. It's going to be one of terror.
I know Halloween is just around the corner, and as good Christian boys, we celebrate it wholeheartedly.
Right.
But this is a comedy podcast. It's not like a true crime or like a I don't know, anything else.
Are you sure?
Looking at the topics that we have, only one of these, maybe two, can you consider something as like fearful. But
Hey, did you
yeah.
not? I sent you a memo. And I said, hey, I'm tired of the direction the podcast is going, and I think we need to be more frightening and scary. That's what the people want.
Would you send it over like MySpace? Because I never got that memo.
No, I sent it. I sent it to your Hotmail. You know, your Hotmail account.
You must have sent it to someone else because I do not have a Hotmail account.
Oh no. You replied and you said that's a great idea and you should start the podcast as scary as possible. And so I adopted this deep and frightening voice.
Well, you can make an argument that it is neither deep nor frightening.
Hey, I think it's pretty deep.
Hey, that's the best I can do.
All right.
Sound like a goblin over here.
Okay, well, hey, don't mind me, just gonna throw out all the material I had on my frightening podcast I was gonna do. So,
well, maybe send it to the correct email next time and we'll have something that we can work with. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a monumental episode, I would have to say. We are going outside of the traditional. We're going to discuss, the good stuff, the good, the enjoyable things. No, we're getting right down to it. This is the stuff no one talks about.
oh,
We're going to work through some things. And the first thing we're going to work through is Nathan. Do you like haunted houses?
oh, Matthew, do I like haunted houses? Yeah, they're a blast.
Mm,
You and I used to be coworkers, right?
yes.
You remember those days, and
Yes.
I would remember being so sad because I would try to say every Halloween I was like, "Hey, fellow coworkers, let's go to a haunted house or something," and all of y'all are a bunch of chickens out here in Texas. So,
I
but
wouldn't say all of us, but definitely me.
yeah, but no, I have great memories. I'd go with my family. It's kind of like, see, I don't think people understand this. Okay, they get too scared. And I'm not talking about like a genuine, oh, look, this house is genuinely haunted by some ghost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the big old productions. And so me and my family would go to one every year. And you got to think of it like it's a play that you walk through,
Okay.
So you've got the actors, and instead of delivering lines, I mean, some of them may, but their goal is to just spook you, to scare you.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I wouldn't get too scared per se. Like, I would admire the costumes and set design, and you'd have people jump out, and you'd be like, wow, if I was an easily frightened person, I'd be scared. Great job.
I can just imagine you walking through the hallways of this multi-million-dollar production of a haunted house and just like picking up like the drapes and going, "Oh man, these are really good drapes." And someone just like jumps out and scares you and you just kind of like grab his face and look at his mask and just go, "Man, this is very well made." And
Yeah.
everybody is more afraid of you, just like, "This guy, what is this dude doing?"
It's like it's the fourth year in a row that he's come here and done this.
And it's the
One of
same stuff we use every year.
Well, see, I think we went to one. I forget exactly. I think it was like called Necro World or something like that. I don't
Hmm.
remember exactly, but
Neko World.
but no, but every year it was cool going every year because they had two haunted houses. One was their main one. It was long. And it was just a really huge haunted house. And then in the other side of the warehouse, they had a smaller one. And in that one,
Hmm.
they would reuse assets from the previous year.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so I'll tell you, here's an example. Okay. There was one thing that did frighten me one time is we went one year and near the end, they had this giant robot with like a dome, you know, and, uh, and at the end of the haunted house, he would charge you, and his lights, he had these lights that would flash in your eyes, and he had this drill that would make a drilling sound, and he would
Mm-hmm.
he would charge at you and get really close,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd make a loud noise, and that got me. Like it was pretty scary. And then the
Oh yeah.
next year, I remember, yeah, I remember going through the smaller haunted house, and I could hear the sound that thing made, and I was
Mm.
like, "Oh no, it's back." you know? So so yeah, is cool. It
Oh
was
man.
different.
I have never been to a haunted house and I never want to go to a haunted house.
Ah, one of my favorite experiences
Mm-hmm.
was we went and there was this dad and his two daughters in front of us,
Mm-hmm.
and me and my brothers are with my dad, and the girls and their dad get to the front of the line, and the dad freaks out and abandons them.
Oh no.
He says, "I don't want to do this." So he just gets out of line. And the workers are like, "Do you mind if these girls go with you?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And it was great. It was a good time.
Man. I would never be in that situation because I would never be in line to go to a haunted house.
Man, we should go sometime, man. That'd be fun.
No, I'm good.
A year loss.
Yeah, that's fine. So, some things can be scary that aren't normally scary, such as turning a house into a haunted house or being told that you have a responsibility just kind of out of the blue and you feel wildly unprepared. And so, I have prepared a segment for you, my good friend Nathan. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of a little game show that I'd like to call Rank It.
Mm.
And today, Nathan, you are in charge of ranking these 10 video games that I will make the assumption that you have played. Are you ready?
Wait, so what's the criteria for ranking them? Like the best, the worst?
So I have a list of 10 video games here that I thought of at 11 p.m. last night. And your job is to rank it from best to worst, 1 to 10. 1 is the best game of this list, and 10 is not really the worst game, but it is at the bottom of your list. Are you ready?
Um, sure.
All right. So, the first, I'm going to read you a list, and I would like you to keep track of these as we go along. And you can talk about your thought process about what you think about the game, but also know that we are on a time crunch, and so do plan your words carefully.
Okay.
So, here we go. Your first game is Pong.
Okay. That's the one with the two paddles and the little ping pong ball, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Your second game, Persona 4.
Okay.
Number 3, Kingdom Hearts 3D, or Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
Okay.
Number 4, Crash Team Racing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Number 5, Galaga.
Okay.
Number 6, Call of Duty Ghosts.
Okay.
Number 7, Luigi's Mansion.
Gotcha.
Number 8, Nier Automata.
Okay.
Number 9, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
And number 10, God of War from the PlayStation 4 remake. That
Okay.
is your
Gotcha.
list. That is your list. These are all
Okay.
games that I know that you have played and you love so dearly, and you have been given the task of having to rank these timeless classic video games. So, starting from the bottom, I would like to hear your reasoning for your list.
Luigi's Mansion.
Interesting. Why is Luigi's Mansion at the bottom?
Well, I don't like real haunted houses with ghosts in them, and
Ah,
so no, that's not the real reason. The real reason is as the oldest brother in my family, I only like player one things, and Luigi's perpetually stuck as player two.
wow. That is extremely shallow. But your next one, number 9.
Pong, the graphics are bad.
I can't argue with that one. Number 8.
Galaga, similar reasoning, and the space shoot 'em ups are too much for me sometimes. Too much on screen.
I'll push back on this one. Galaga is my go-to arcade game. If there's an
Right.
arcade cabinet place and there's a cabinet of Galaga, I'm playing that every time.
Okay. Good for you.
How dare you? Anyways, number 7.
Call of Duty Ghosts, because ghosts are.
Wow, I'm surprised Call of Duty wasn't at the bottom, actually.
I mean the graphics.
Fair enough. Number 6.
Um, see, now we're getting in the hard stuff, but I think Kingdom Hearts, Dream
Mm,
Drop Distance.
mm.
I know that's your least favorite Kingdom Hearts game.
It is not my least favorite, but it's very close. Actually, my least favorite Kingdom Hearts game is probably no, it is Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. The one that came out on the Game Boy Advance, it was like card based,
Right.
did not translate well to the PlayStation, and it infuriated me. Anyways, we're not talking about me. We're talking about your decision. That was number 6 or number 5.
I think it was 6.
Was it 6?
Yeah. My number 5 is
Mm,
probably, you meant the new God of War, right?
yes.
Yeah, that's number 5. He just says boy a lot in it
Mm,
because Kratos has a son, and he's always yelling at his kid, and he'll say like boy, and
boy.
it's a really really fun, entertaining game.
For that sole purpose.
Yeah.
Isn't
Um.
there a designated boy button?
What?
There's a designated boy button, isn't there?
I never want to hear you say that ever again.
No, you push it and Kratos just says boy just a bunch of
No.
times. And you can spam it just boy, 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 boy,
No.
boy. Yeah, the designated
No.
boy button.
No. Don't don't press the designated boy button.
Mm.
Let's see. My next on my list would be Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Interesting. That did
Yeah,
win Game of the Year in 2017.
yeah.
So Why is it not the top?
Well, see, it only won it for 1 year. If it had won it for multiple years, I might consider it as my number one. But
Mm,
yeah, I mean, it's a fun game, and it's pretty
classic.
exploratory.
Yep.
But for me, it was like I finished it, and it's like I'm done with it. You know?
But just the amount of games that it has like influenced is
Yeah,
it's pretty it's one of those games that comes out every maybe once a decade to where it just like creates a giant shift in the video game industry. It's pretty cool.
yeah. Didn't it influence this really cringy anime style game that's kind of free to play, but you pay money to unlock new characters and stuff,
Anyways, number 3 on
If
your
only I could
list.
remember what that game's
It's
called.
Genshin Impact. What's number 3 on your list?
Number three is Near Automata.
Interesting. Now, why is this number 3?
It's got some cool action, and the story's, it's about these androids, and they really deal with their existential crises. And
Of not
so,
being humans.
yeah, and so
Mm.
I don't know. It's an entertaining game. It's pretty fun. I like it.
Yep. All right. Now, number 2.
Number two is Persona 4. Um,
Oh.
yeah, it's pretty much just an anime Scooby Doo game, and it's entertaining.
I've never thought of it as an anime Scooby Doo game.
Yeah, and this will just sound weird, but you can hang out with your friends and you level up your friendships, and so every time I play that game, I start to think of my real life friendships and so leveling them up, and so um, currently, Matthew, I think we're at a level 8 or a 9. Is friendship. So
Well,
hopefully we can get that.
level 10 is max.
Yeah, level 10 is maxed out, so hopefully we can get there soon.
And the only reason I didn't pick Persona 5 is because I do know that you would have been very burnt out of that game by this point.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of that one. It's too much. Um,
Now,
and I like the characters in Persona 4 more.
mhm, that's why I chose that one. I knew it would give you a hard choice of the top game. But what is your top game?
Probably Crash Team Racing. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that was my first game I ever owned that I really loved. I think it's a better kart racing game than Mario Kart because you play as Crash Bandicoot and all his pals and enemies. And then it
Mm,
was remade a few years ago, and I just spent a whole summer playing the heck out of that remake.
mm.
So I really like that one.
Yeah, are they releasing any like new tracks that to slowly build up the game over time?
They already did all that, so it's done now. All the tracks should be
Mm,
released.
mm,
And they made up their own tracks, so it wasn't they took original tracks. Just the base game has a lot to it.
gotcha. Well, Mario Kart is superior, and your opinion is dumb. But that is the first edition of Rank It. Today's topic on the spooky things of being told to take a quiz just right off the bat and exploring haunted houses. It is spooky season. Halloween is just around the corner. And we
Yeah.
have some Halloween themed
hmm
arguments that we will have. But before we get to that, Nathan, how did you do your research?
I started on Reddit and then I couldn't find anything, so I just turned to Google
Mm,
and my own brain, just mulling it over, you know,
mm, mm.
like when a cat is like needing a blanket, you know, and then it snuggles into it. That's what I've been doing.
Nice. You really snuggled into the comfort of being able to Google anything on the fly.
Yeah. What about you, man? How did you do your research?
I did one of the most terrifying things. I had to go and talk to strangers.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Were they
I
like stranger guys or stranger girls or were they just stranger things? Get it? Hey, do you get it? Because that's that popular show everyone likes.
Are you hearing my sighs?
Oh, I thought you had a fog machine.
No, no, that is my sigh of great disapproval for your very, very bad reference.
Oh,
No, they were just strange people. Well, okay, I did cheat a little bit. I did cheat a little
yeah,
bit. I did talk to
that's fair.
some acquaintances of mine that are around at my school that I go to because I I hate talking to people I don't know. Here I am
Yeah,
on a podcast with plenty of people I don't know listening. But this is very different because right now I'm looking at a screen and a microphone and not you guys.
yeah. He doesn't even want to look at me. That's how much
Not
he hates
not
strangers.
not gonna lie, I can guess right now that you do not have a shirt on, and I do not want to see you without a shirt on.
I have a shirt on.
Oh, is that
It says
so?
it is. It is. I could take a selfie right now and send it to you.
No, I would rather not.
Right.
Because I don't
Anyway,
want you to be lying, and then I figure out at the last second that you are indeed lying.
I'm not lying. I have a shirt on.
Oh,
You
good for
know.
you.
Yeah.
I am currently not wearing any socks.
No. Okay. I thought it was going to go somewhere else. You can't pause after saying I'm currently not wearing. Pause. 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 You have to be quicker than that.
Well, and in case I scared any of our listeners, we're just going to get right into our spooky arguments and go ahead and cue that music. You like that transition I did there? I think that was pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it was solid. All right, so our first question, Matthew. Trick or treat?
Mm,
That's going to be our first argument. Trick or
yes.
treat?
Yes.
Which one do you have?
I have a treat. I would rather get a treat than get a trick.
I would rather do the trick. And I think that's an important distinction. Nobody
Yes,
wants
because
to
you
be
are not a
tricked, but
treat.
some people want to. Oh, okay. That's kind of rude. Yeah, whatever. I'm so excited to do this now. Okay. Why don't you start? Tell us about why treats are better.
Yes, so I asked a few. Oh. Oh, they. Okay. Oof. Oh, I'm never using my phone again to get all this stuff. I thought I deleted the entire thing. Oof. Talk about a scare. All right. So I asked a few people around. There was a little event that was happening at my school, and so I walked around and asked a few people. After for about a couple minutes of trying to get the courage up to go talk to someone that I don't know, and these are some of the responses that I got, and I just like to kind of break them down a little bit. Tastes good.
Nice.
Yes. Another guy said, "I'm a sweets guy."
Oh, a sweet
And
guy.
then someone else said that I like sweet things, and this one guy bucked the trend and he said tricks are a lot more fun.
Hey, my kind of guy.
But the thing is, I don't know about you, but I really do enjoy the pounds of candy that you get from going trick or treating. And It's just you get all the fun size like M&Ms and other things like that. But the more of those you get, just having like the one pack of the fun size, not fun.
Yeah.
Having like 10 packs of fun size, that is fun. And so for that one, I would say no, tricks are not fun because there's nothing like showing up to a house and getting gypped on tiny pieces of candy.
So your favorite type of house would be the ones with the full candy bar?
Mm. Granted, when I was growing up, I lived on a street of a lot of elderly people, and so they did not get those. They went to Walmart. They got the little things because we were like the only family that lived
Oh,
on that street that had kids. And so it was more of they were always expecting us to show up, and so we'd go and, you know, get their puny fun size, but still, we get to see them, enjoy having one family show up.
see, when you said they were all elderly people, I was expecting you to say they only gave out those, those strawberry wrapper candies, you know,
Now, they did give out
or
the popcorn
Altoid and
balls.
oh, oh, fascinating.
Yes, those are
That's
terrible.
what is in those? What do you put in a popcorn ball, Matthew?
Nothing good, that's for sure.
Like,
Um,
how do you get it? Because popcorn usually isn't in a ball. How do you get it in that ball shape, Matthew?
it's glue.
Ah, it's glued. It's glued together for real.
That's my assumption because I every time I've had a popcorn ball, it has always just been just some of the worst tasting things.
Is it like sweet or salty, or is it like both?
I I haven't had one in so long that because of the great distaste I have for it. I'm just like I don't want to touch this anymore. But the
Just describe the sensation for us and our listeners.
yes. All right. This one goes out for you, my good friend Tim, who talked about how I can make a romantic moment sound extremely unromantic. So I'm gonna uh, make this popcorn ball as enticing as I possibly can. So let me get real close. Let me get real close and personal.
Oh no, no! Don't whisper in my ear about the popcorn balls, please.
The popcorn ball, as soon as it touches the lips, gives a
No,
salty
gosh,
sensation.
ew! Just
You
stop!
want me to describe
Please.
it?
Well, I didn't want you to describe it sensually.
Yeah, I'm
Just wanted
talking.
you
I
to.
mean, you can't. What do? You eat a popcorn ball by sticking it up your armpit or something? Like you got to put
I
it in your
just
mouth.
like. Oh, I just want to know what it tastes like, and you're acting
Not
like you've
good
never tasted one.
because
Well,
I haven't had one in years. I hate them.
yeah, but I wouldn't you remember the bad taste? Was it just so traumatic that you pushed the memory of the taste out of your mind? For
That
real?
was just so unforgettable. Excuse me, it was so
Wait,
forgettable, not unforgettable. My apologies, I misspoke.
it's so unforgettable that I forgot it.
But that was
All
some of
right.
the things. Most of the stuff was just talking about how they prefer candy, and
Yeah.
understandably, better to get candy than to get scared. But what did you find?
So, folks, we just learned that Matthew goes to a college for babies who wants all the treats and sweet things. No, for me, tricks are where it's at. On Reddit, I saw a question where Hertz50 Good asked in r/Halloween. This was 6 years ago. They go, "What's the
Outdated.
best? What's the best trick, not treat, for teenagers with no Halloween spirit?" And so they were curious. What do you get? What do you get these teenagers who just don't bother to dress up? You know, this person wanted to put out a second bowl full of like bad stuff. So like, toothpaste, raisins, pennies, and oh my gosh, popcorn balls.
Yeah,
They
of
must.
course.
Oh my gosh, the old people were tricking you this whole time.
I can't believe it.
Now, most people replying warned the poster. They were like, look, if you do this, the teenagers will try to get revenge. You know, they could egg your house. They could throw, um, toilet paper your house, TP it. Uh, I remember one year, me and some fellow youth at our church, we had like a lock in. And in the middle of the night, we went to the pastor's house and we forked his yard.
Mm.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah, you forked it real good.
No, we got a we got a bunch of forks, little plastic forks, and you just go around and you stick them in the ground of his lawn. And so
Dubious.
the next morning, imagine you wake up and you go out on your front porch to grab the newspaper, because everyone still reads those, and you look out on the lawn and all these plastic forks are there,
Man.
and then
Do
you
they
have to
still read
go
the
out.
newspaper in Georgia?
uh well, I
Have
think
they not
we
caught up with the rest of society?
yeah, it's kind of an old-timey state. Yes, they've caught
Mm.
up with society. Maroon. uh yeah, so imagine the dubious, the awful cleanup. You have to go around and pick up these forks.
These dubious children.
Yeah. But some people did have some advice. They said, they were like, you should. Here's what you do. If a kid comes up or teenager comes up with no costume, you have some like uh, paint or like a grease pen, and you can offer to paint their face for them. And so, I'm thinking a great trick would be you could paint their face so they look ugly. You know.
or put unsightly things on there like a pitchfork.
Or you could paint their face to look like John Travolta.
You got some makeup artist who's suggesting who's reading this already goes, oh yeah. And so for the next like 5 hours, he pulls this one teenager into their house and sets him on the makeup chair and makes him look like John Travolta. And while there's a line
Oh,
of like 300 kids, he's just like, we just want candy, please.
no, you gotta look like John Travolta to get the candy.
Gosh,
John Travolta fans are insane.
I guess I don't know.
So that's a good way, but I don't know. I think a good trick. See, this is what I used to do back in the day. My
Mm,
family, one year, we had like a little scarecrow, uh, outside of our house with a big old, with his mask on his face and a hat, and it was just sitting on our front porch. And
hmm
then on Halloween night, they replaced the scarecrow with me, and I dressed up like the scarecrow,
It's a
and
big
I put on
scarecrow.
the mask. Hey, and I put on the mask, and I put on the hat, and I would sit there, and the candy would be like near my feet or something. And then the kids would come up and they'd see me and they'd go, "Oh, that's not the scarecrow anymore." But I was like, "No, I am for real." And then they come up and they would get the candy, and then I'd stand up and scare them, you know.
Gosh.
And some kids, I would just stand up and stare at them as they walked away, and it spooked them real good. It was a good trick.
Oh man,
Yeah.
man.
But yeah. So I think tricking is more fun, but not if you're on the receiving end. I would say little less fun.
Exactly.
I
Exactly. And I think that's like when you get the candy, that's nice. You can enjoy it later, but also, handing out the candy to all the kids, it can be pretty fun too. And so it's fun on both ends.
Yeah. I would say, if at all possible, if you are able to take advantage and be the one to give out the tricks, but receive the treats, that's the perfect way to live, I think. You know?
So are you telling me that we're going to create this new thing for trick or treat, and you're going to go to different people's houses with your bag filled with the candy that you've so begrudgingly walked to all these houses and gotten. and then you go to
Yeah.
this one street to where everyone lines up there, and if they scare you, you have to give your candy back.
Interesting.
Mm.
No, what I think I'm trying to say is take advantage of everyone. Whether whether that is getting free stuff, but then never giving anything away for free in return. That's what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
I encourage selfishness. Yeah.
Gosh. Well, do you have anything else to say about that?
Uh, no. So,
All right.
our next
Great.
question. Our next question is: we were thinking of what's the scariest things
Mm,
on Halloween. What are the
yes.
scariest type of creatures out there? And uh, and so we came up with which is scarier, ghosts or scarecrows.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. Would you like me to
Yes.
start this time, or do you want to start?
Oh, please be my guest.
Oh, Matthew, I hate to start with a W. That stands for win. Um, because clearly scarecrows win. They literally have the word scare in the name.
God dang it. Here's the next topic.
What?
I can't come up with anything else. You blew me out of the water. We have to move on to the next topic now.
Oh, well, I wasn't. I mean, I wanted to like revel in my victory for a while.
Oh, okay, fine.
You know, give me that at least. Yeah. So, Matthew, okay, what's the worst bird?
The worst bird?
Oh my gosh, it's
Um
crows. Just say crows, for
oh,
goodness sake.
it's
That's what I'm
I
trying
didn't
to
know.
get at.
I was gonna say raven, but sure, crow works too.
Oh, come on. Ravens are cool. Crows are the worst raven. um, and what they do is they like to team up and they like to eat people's crops. And so you have to have a scarecrow to get rid of them. Now, the thing is, unfortunately for us, crows are smart.
Mm,
So they will figure it out if you put the scarecrow out in your crop field, you know, and he doesn't move for like a day or two. They go, oh, well, that's not real. So you kind of got to move him every day a little bit.
I see.
But yeah, scarecrows are spooky because they're usually stuffed with you know uh, like extra cloth or straw,
Ugh,
and then you dress them
scariest
up
of
in old
things.
clothes. Yeah, you can give them a really spooky looking face.
Ugh,
Uh,
I'm shivering, dude.
yeah, and so you just place them out there to scare people. But there's actually, did you know that there's a history of scarecrows?
I'm gonna assume that there probably is a history of scarecrows. I mean, there's a history of everything, so probably yeah.
Yeah, so I'll share a few of these.
Mm,
The Japanese, they had a version. They'd call it the kuebiko, and
mm.
it was to keep the sparrows away from the rice. And they would dress up this figure. Yeah, they eat rice out
So,
in
sorry,
Japan, man.
it's just no, that wasn't it. It's just like American culture. It's the crows
Like,
will come eat the corn,
not
but
everybody has
just
corn, Matthew. It's not a
yes,
worldwide
but it
dish.
just it kind of struck me as it's scarecrows around Halloween. Crows are menacing. Um, I mean, a group of crows is called a murder of crows, and so it has all this like kind of spooky connotation around it. But a sparrow has
Yeah,
nothing that has to do with being spooky. That's what caught me off guard. It's not the fact that the Japanese grow rice. It's the fact that they, just everything that's built around a scarecrow is for a sparrow. It's just pretty funny.
I was worried you were a racist for a while.
No.
You know. Um, Now the thing is, and that's why it's not really a scarecrow because it's called a kuebiko. and what they would do is they would burn it at the end of harvest season, so the smoke would
Oh,
keep the
wow.
birds away.
Wow. That's pretty
Yeah.
intense, dude.
In Native American cultures, some men, instead of the scarecrow, they would sit on raised platforms and they would shout at birds or animals approaching the crops.
What a
Oh,
job.
I think we should give that job to like elderly people these days. Like if you can't get around well, and like it's the best of both worlds, because sometimes you have those nosy neighbors, like, and they're usually older people, no offense, and they're
Wow.
looking for stuff in their neighborhood to get on to people about.
Mm.
But what if we just put them in the farms instead, in the farmland? And then anytime a bird or a creature approaches, they can be like, "Hey, get off my property!" You know?
Man. I mean,
Gosh,
that kind of is what a Walmart greeter is, except in a nice way.
yeah. They always yell at me. They're like, "Get off my property!" when I'm leaving. It's like, and I just go, I was leaving already.
Ugh,
Yeah. Here, you want a morbid one?
no.
Okay, here you go. Um, so during the Middle Ages, it doesn't start out morbid. It starts out kind of
Oh,
fun.
the Middle
Um,
Ages.
yeah, during the Middle Ages, small children would run through the fields clapping blocks together to scare the birds. So they'd be like, clop, clop, you know? They were
Mm.
the crow scarers. And this is where it gets kind of dark. I'm sorry.
I was
But
about to say, when does it get dark?
after the plague took the lives of many children, farmers began stuffing old clothes with straw, and those figures were lifted on poles, and a turnip or a gourd was placed on top as a head.
Oh, please tell me it was the children's clothes.
It doesn't say, but I assume. Like, why would you mention the
Oh,
part about the kids being claimed by the plague?
it's
You know,
oh my gosh, freaking the scariest thing of all. The impending doom of the death that comes for every human.
it's like, now that's a trick for you, man. You
Oh
know,
gosh.
Timmy the plague will claim you soon, and I will use your old clothes as a scarecrow.
Now, folks at home, death is not a funny thing, but
Yeah.
dadgummit.
Dadgummit. Like, imagine, I think crows are smart enough. Like back then, they'd be like, "That guy's so morbid. He took his kid's old clothes and is using it as a scarecrow." And the crows were like, "We're out. Well, we don't want to steal food from this guy. He's weird.
Gosh.
Like this farmer's kind of morbid, you know?"
Yeah, that was what scared off the crows is it was just like, "Oh my gosh. What?
Like,
This no, I'm not this farmer here, that's jacked up. I'm gonna go somewhere
and,
else. I'm
and the
gonna go to
crows go,
Jeremy's
"Look,
farm."
yeah, oh, good old Jeremy." Um, and like the crows are like, this is like, we're wild beasts, but even we don't do that, you know?
We have standards.
Like if a little bird in our nest passes away,
Mm,
from the bird flu, we don't take its feathers and display them. So
mm. Wow.
yeah, crows sometimes the animals are more human than the humans,
Oh, all right. Calm down, Princess Mononoke. All right.
Yeah.
So, um, I would like to counter that with ghosts. I think ghosts are scarier than scarecrows. And
Okay.
I talked to one girl, and she
Good for
surprisingly,
you. Hey, good for
thank
you,
thank you,
man.
thank you, I appreciate it. Conquering many fears at this moment. I talked to this one girl, and she said, "Have you ever seen the people that take the pictures with like the ghosts in them? They go to like the spooky places." And she's like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, I've done
they.
that."
Dun-dun-dun. She's taking
Yeah.
pictures of the people who take pictures of ghosts in spooky places.
No, she went. She was the person that took pictures of ghosts in spooky places.
Matthew? Wait a
Yeah.
second. Wait a second.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
What if, now don't be alarmed, what if she was the ghost in those pictures and she
Oh,
was talking to you as a ghost?
dang.
Like, did you like high five this girl or give her a side hug or anything to
No, I
confirm that
didn't touch her at all. I'm not a
she,
creeper.
so you did not confirm that she has a physical form?
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, Matthew, you're gonna be haunted.
Yeah, there are worse things in life. The
Matthew, one
second thing
final
I have.
wait.
Huh?
One final question.
Okay.
Was she wearing a bed sheet and going like ooh when she
No,
talked to you?
she was in like a t-shirt and jeans, I think.
Oh, that's terrifying.
So basic.
I mean, bro, those are the clothes they put on scarecrows, man.
Mm. The next point I have is someone said that. Now, okay, well, I will say this. I did ask two people, this little couple, and they were sitting at this table. And so I sat down with them and talked to them for a second. And when I asked this question, they had they put so much thought into their answers. Like
Oh,
they actually took a couple seconds, like staring up at the ceiling and like in that deep thought kind of look.
wow, that's like more than what we do with this podcast.
Exactly.
Interesting.
They did all the hard work for us.
Right.
And so one guy said that scarecrows are scary and ghosts are scary. And so he was just like, dude, both of them are scary. Um, Someone else said that ghosts are scary because it just feels more natural to think that. Because I mean,
Hmm.
a scarecrow doesn't move unless you move it. A
Yeah.
ghost, dude, you can't control a ghost. No matter what all those ghost hunting shows will tell you and what they'll do, you can't control a ghost.
Yeah, but there is a team based in Manhattan that's known for busting those ghosts. So,
Yes, that is also a fictional franchise.
well, I don't know. The thing is with scarecrows, there's only one person I know of who like busts scarecrows, and that's Batman. And he's not real, unlike the Ghostbusters. So
Well, they're both
it's a
fictional.
it's a conundrum.
Indeed. And someone else said this. I just simply asked the question ghosts or scarecrows, not thinking which is scarier. And so I'm
Hmm.
going to tell you what this person said, thinking that under the assumption that I just asked ghosts or scarecrows.
Okay.
Scarecrows because Michael Jackson was one.
Whoa. Huh.
So Michael Jackson
Hmm.
played the Scarecrow in the musical movie called The Wiz back in the 70s.
And if
And
that,
knowing what we know about Michael Jackson today, I think she raises a good point
yeah.
that scarecrows might actually be scarier because Michael Jackson was a scarecrow.
See, that's what I was trying to say this whole time.
But
He was the one back in the Middle Ages giving the plague to the children.
he gave the bubonic plague to all those kids.
And then to make matters worse, he'd go hee hee right afterwards. Just insult to injury right there.
The last thing they heard before they were killed from the bubonic plague was
I know. So sad.
But here's one thing that no one did mention that I want to make as a counterpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Can a scarecrow possess a ghost?
Oh, man. I was afraid you were going to say that.
Yes. The answer is no. A scarecrow cannot possess a ghost, but a
Mm.
ghost can possess a scarecrow. And so yes, the scarecrow, you can think the scarecrow's the scary thing, but the thing is the scarecrow is yet or excuse me, the scarecrow is but a tool. The
Mm.
actual mastermind behind the scarecrow is a ghost. Because the next thing you know, hey, that children's toy that you love so dearly, guess what? It's a ghost now.
My counterpoint to your counterpoint would be
Mm,
that when ghosts possess human things, they they only possess things that have brains, you know? Uh and scarecrows do not have brains.
false. Did you watch The Wizard of Oz at all? Guess
Yeah.
guess who got a brain?
I couldn't
Not the
finish it.
Scarecrow, because it was all a sham.
I don't know, man. I didn't finish that movie because The Wicked Witch of the West was very scary.
All right, give me just a second. Are you for real? Have
Yeah,
you
I was
never
just
have you never seen and finished
yeah,
the
I would
1950s
never.
movie?
Well, I mean, it's a long movie,
It is
and like they
it is
sing the
not that
Over the
long.
Rainbow, and so like the first time I tried watching it, the song Over the Rainbow was just way too long. I was like, when is this song going to be Over the Rainbow? And so I turned it off. And then it just kept going. And so then a couple years later I tried again. And and please don't be offended, but like when the midgets came, I mean the Oompa Loompas came on screen, that's not right. That's a different thing.
Oh my gosh, what
You
are they
know,
called?
the Lollipop Guild or whatever.
The Lollipop Kids.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
scary, and I don't want to be a heightist, you know, but yeah, it just frightened me. I was easily frightened. And then so I stopped watching. So the next time I turned the movie on, fast forward through Over the Rainbow, fast forwarded through the Lollipop Guild song,
Munchkins, that's what they're called.
Munchkins. That's right. And so fast forwarded through that, and so we get to the Scarecrow guy, and he's like, "I don't have a brain." And then you get to the Tin Man, and he's like, "I don't have skin." And then you get to the Lion.
That is not what he said.
I, Matthew, it's been a long time since I tried to watch the
He
movie.
didn't have a heart.
Oh,
that would be that would be oh,
see,
that would be absolute that would make it a horror movie to where he gets the skin that he wanted at the end. Oh my
see,
gosh.
that's my bad. I always confuse organs like that.
How do you confuse the skin outside of the body with literally anything else that you cannot see inside the body?
Okay, hear me out. What about that phrase? Wearing your heart on your sleeve.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's an external thing.
No, that's an expression.
Anyway, he didn't have a heart or skin or whatever because he's all metal. And then the lion, he was just scared. He was a scaredy cat, which was a good
Mhm.
play on words. And so, and then it got to the part where the trees started throwing apples at Dorothy and her pals. And so I had to
Mhm.
turn it off there. It was just too scary. And so
Wow.
5 years later, I tried it again, and I fast forwarded through all the beginning, all the intros and stuff. I have a good memory, so I remembered all that.
Oh,
And
for sure.
and then it got to, you know, like the flying monkeys weren't too bad. You
Mhm.
know, I don't like monkeys, but they're fine. And then it got to the Wicked Witch of the West, and she's just so scary, you know? And she'd say things like, "I'm gonna get you, my pretty."
No, she didn't
And
say it like that.
no, don't.
How
No,
did she
don't.
say it, Nathan?
No, I don't wanna. I can't. No,
Oh, you
I
can't?
don't. I can't do it.
Oh,
I'm too
then
too
excuse me for a
frightened.
second.
No.
I'll get you, my pretty.
No. Oh my gosh. That was terrifying.
Oh, the waveform is atrocious.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you bottomed out, my mic, my earphones or whatever. I don't know.
Good.
it's
Well,
like it's like I was there reliving it.
for a man who has gone through plenty of haunted houses and can't sit through Wizard of Oz, we're learning a lot about each other today. I will say that.
Well, see, plays are clearly not real, but movies are different.
No, you did not just say that.
Yeah, like I know, okay, I go to a haunted house. I was like, that's all fake. But a
Man, I did an
movie?
actual spit take.
Weird.
Oh my
You should
gosh.
clean that up. Matthew, you idiot. Of course I've seen The Wizard of Oz.
Well, one thing about The Wizard of Oz that made me very upset was the flying monkeys because of their, the real people in those costumes, which brings up our last point is what is better? Is it to have a costume you make at home or something that you just buy online or from a store?
Yeah. Well, you see, in my research, I found a blog called the Darn Good Yarn blog. Or it's
Mm-hmm.
the Darn Good Yarn blog. Yes. And in 2018, they gave 5 reasons why you should make your own Halloween costume and why it's better than buying it. Okay. And so I've got a few of those reasons here. And some of them are kind of repetitive, but I think that's okay. It just reiterates the point. One is homemade costumes are one of a kind. Okay.
Mm,
Now they provide a scenario. And so, Matthew, I want you to put yourself in this scenario.
okay.
And and listeners, if you have the blessing of knowing what Matthew looks like, imagining him in this scenario will help you, I think. Okay?
Yes.
So I'm going to read you the scenario, Matthew.
Okay.
You show up to your best friend's Halloween party dressed up as Catwoman.
I would never do that.
No, we're imagining. Use your imagination.
I can't.
But then, Matthew, you find out your ex is at
Okay,
the
okay. So
same.
so hold on. If I'm
What?
imagining this, do I not have a gut that juts out of my body like it does right now? Am I like more toned and fit?
Fine, we can use our imagination.
Nice.
Use your imagination, folks, to imagine Matthew has abs or something.
I
Okay,
look like Taylor Lautner.
you look like Taylor Swift dressed up as Catwoman.
Taylor Lautner.
No, wrong Taylor, but okay. Anyway, you go to the party, and then your ex shows up with his new girlfriend. But to make
Wait a second.
what?
Who's my ex?
Some dude, I guess. I'm sorry, Matthew.
No.
Matthew, it's just a scenario. We're just Matthew. Hey,
No.
Matthew. It's just a scenario. We're just
I don't want
imagining.
to. No, no. I would never go to a Halloween party. I would never dress
Okay,
up as
okay, fine.
Catwoman, and I would never date a dude.
All right, all
That
right.
your
Okay,
scenario is 0 for 3.
okay. But let's say the scenario actually did happen, and that
No, it wouldn't.
we're just pretending here. But imagine that his new girlfriend is wearing the same exact Catwoman costume. This is
I hate
awkward,
this.
Matthew.
No, this is so bad.
It's such an awkward scenario, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, because I apparently date guys. I
Right?
am not as fit as I want to be, and I dress as Catwoman, and I go to Halloween parties. This scenario is terrible. 0 out of 10 would not
See,
recommend.
it would be, wouldn't it be less awkward if you just wore a homemade costume?
No, it would be. Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate
They
this. I genuinely hate this right now.
I don't understand why. They're just trying to be help. The article's trying to be helpful, Matthew.
No,
You know.
you can understand why. Okay, let's have. Why don't you imagine yourself in there?
Hmm. I'm Catwoman. Interesting. See, it's not that bad. Oh no, my ex has brought his new girlfriend. Oh, and she's also dressed as Catwoman. This is so awkward.
Can't
One of us
believe
has
it.
to change. It would have been less awkward if you had just made your own costume, Matthew. Okay, number 2, you will save money. So if you make your own, you'll save money. No, I don't have a funny scenario there.
Oh, good.
Reason number 3, Halloween is a time to show off. Okay, but here's their question: what makes you
Hmm.
unique? The answer is most definitely not dressing up for Halloween. Because when you dress up for Halloween, you're just like everyone else who dresses up for Halloween. But what makes you different is that you made your costume yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's see. Reason number 4, homemade costumes can make your Halloween prep easier because they don't have to be
Wait,
complicated.
how making your own costume makes it easier?
Apparently.
No, it doesn't.
Well, because, okay, so this lady says that one year she was Rosie the Riveter. You know, that classic, we can do it lady with the
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking
biceps.
about.
And so all she did was she wore blue jeans, boots, a red bandana, and one of her husband's blue button-up shirts.
Mm,
Yeah. And so just in case you didn't understand that Halloween is a time to show off, reason number 5, Halloween is a time to express yourself. If you have a favorite movie, book, show, or character, Halloween's the perfect time to let everyone know.
what if what if I want to dress up as someone from a video game?
Right. Like Mario.
I was gonna say Catwoman from Arkham Asylum, but yeah, Mario works too.
Okay. Well, if you do, just make sure nobody else. See, like, if you dress up as Catwoman, do not buy a costume. Make your
Mm,
own so you can look different as a dude from all the other dudes wearing Catwoman costumes.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Common costume idea for dudes, I guess, is wearing a Catwoman outfit,
Yes, this
right?
is the yeah, it's the big you know, we've always got the big things every year that
Yeah, the
some
trends.
yeah, some pop culture thing that's going to be like what a lot of people dress up as. All right. So, okay, I'll be honest. I am a nerd
Yeah,
and I do like a good cosplay every now and then to where people dress up as like video game characters or movie characters, TV show characters, stuff like that. I
right.
really like I as much as, a creative person I am not. I love it when other people get super creative and so when they are able to take video game design stuff and like make it real life, I think it's pretty cool. And
Same.
so I got really I forgot that I had to argue for store bought costume, and so all my answers have to do with why homemade costumes are better.
Did we just have our first argument we both fully agree on?
Well, it's true. I mean, I got real caught up, and I just asked why homemade costumes are better. Um, and so I'll just read them out because I have failed. Listeners, I'm sorry, but I have failed you. I
Right.
I did not do what I said I was going to do.
No, no, no. You did great.
Um, so some people said that it's cooler if you make it yourself, which obviously. Um,
Yep.
Someone else said that the effort and the endless ideas is what makes it a lot better because store bought stuff, the materials can be cheap. And
Agreed.
with a homemade costume, you have your entire wallet to go through. And so
Ex-
you can make something as cheap and still looks good, or you can make it extravagant and
exactly.
flowing and just wonderful. And the last thing someone said is that you can really see the time, effort, and love that someone put into making their own costume.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
So,
key.
so
I'm so glad we agree. Man, this is almost never happens on this thing, on this absurd arguments podcast.
no, we yet and again we end. the episode in agreement.
What a beautiful day.
What a beautiful day. The crows are chirping. The children are running through the cornfields with their wooden blocks. And the bubonic plague is claiming many lives.
And the Catwoman costumes are being crafted
For men.
for and women. We don't want to be
Well,
sexist here.
very true, even though you can probably make a good compilation of times we have been, in all honesty.
No, never.
Well, folks, that's all we have for the argument, so we'll go ahead and cue that music. Well, folks, that's all we have for today. So, as always, at the end of our episodes, we're going to kindly remind you to please communicate with us because we are both very lonely.
No, speak for yourself. I have friends.
Oh, well, okay, fine. But we have social media, and we have a Facebook and Instagram. And if you search for Absurd Arguments on either platform, you'll find us. And we also have an email.
Yep.
That is absurdargumentsforyou@gmail.com. And that is absurdarguments, the number 4, the letter U, @gmail.com.
Yes. Well, this was just a fun old time today. Good old time. Just me and my friend Matthew talking about scary stuff.
Scary stuff to where I'll never be involved in scary stuff because I get scared very easily.
Yes, he does. Just like me in the Wizard of Oz movie.
Yes. You should finish that movie sometime.
It's too scary.
Well, Nathan, do you have any parting words for us as we go into and embrace the spooky season?
Yes, I do. I'm going to go back to my scary voice at the beginning of the podcast.
Oh, great.
Okay. Goodbye, dear listener. Do not let the dark night overtake you this Halloween. Stay strong, stay near the light, and may you have a wonderful day or night or whenever you're listening to this. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to this Cringe Fest. Bye, everybody.
Hey, it wasn't cringy.